transmission lines, reflection quotient and standing wave ratio. Series on transmission line theory, lecture number 2.10. Whenever a traveling wave encounters a discontinuity, impedance discontinuity, it gets reflected. The amount of reflection depends upon the amount of discontinuity. Reflection quotient is a parameter that gives a measure of the reflected wave. It is most general. It can be used with lossless lines as well as lossy lines. When it comes to lossless lines, standing wave ratio is the parameter that is useful and used widely to indicate the amount of reflection. In the present session, we try to understand in detail the nature of reflection quotient and standing wave ratio and their utility with respect to various lines and also their relative merits and demerits. Whenever a traveling wave sees an impedance discontinuity over its path, reflection happens, as already mentioned. Two such situations are illustrated here. Here is a line, uniform line. It is connected to source one end, connected to load on the other end. Here notice the load impedance ZL is different from Z0. Line which is traveling over the line, it is riding over an impedance Z0, but when it reaches the load point, suddenly it faces an impedance ZL which is different from Z0. Here it encounters a discontinuity. This discontinuity leads to reflected wave. Another situation is shown where two uniform lines are joined. A line is there. It consists of two uniform lines. One is having a characteristic impedance of Z01, another is having characteristic impedance of Z02. The wave traveling over line 1 with the Z01 characteristic impedance, when it encounters or faces the second line for the first time, it sees another impedance, that is Z02. There it faces discontinuity, it leads to reflection. So in A, reflection happens at the load point. In B, reflection happens at the point where the two lines are connected. Not only that, in the present case, case B, reflection also happen at the load because ZL is different from Z02. In fact, if we go a little bit deep, multiple reflections happen. Reason is the wave that got reflected wave, it travels towards source. While traveling towards the source, it encounters again a discontinuity at the joining point of the two lines. Partly it passes towards the source, the remaining gets reflected. This reflected one again travels towards the source, again partial reflection, again traveling towards connection point of the two lines, so leading to multiple reflections. Actual situation is quite complex. Here the point which one has to be noted down is whenever wave sees discontinuity in its path, it gets reflected. With respect to the configurations we have considered, RC reflection quotient at an arbitrary point over the line can be defined as the ratio of voltage in the reflected wave V reflected to that in the incident wave V incident at that point under consideration. Note RC is defined at a point, an arbitrary one over the line, and it may be a load point, it may be source point, a point of discontinuity, or at another point wherever reflection is there. So first consider the definition of reflection quotient. Here is a line. Because of some discontinuity, wave got reflected like this. So this is incident wave, this is a reflected wave. In the reflected wave, voltage exists. In the incident wave also voltage exists. The ratio of voltage in the reflected wave to voltage in the incident wave at a point, because reflection quotient varies from point to point over the line. At that point, at that particular point, what is voltage in the reflected wave? What is voltage in the incident wave? That ratio gives us reflection quotient. V reflected and V incident, they are phasors. They are complex, and hence ratio RC is also complex quantity. It is indicated by bold gamma. Magnitude is by light phase letter gamma. Gamma is modulus gamma. Mathematically, so gamma is V reflected by V incident. Magnitude is magnitude of gamma, complex gamma. Magnitude of V reflected by magnitude of V incident. Angle is angle of V reflected by angle of V incident. It can be shown the ratio of currents in the reflected wave, reflected and incident waves, is equal to negative of ratio of voltages in those waves. The point is reflection quotient is defined in terms of voltages. It can also be defined in terms of currents. How to define in terms of currents? We have to keep this particular aspect in mind. Accordingly, one can define the RC in terms of currents ratio also. The negative of ratio of current of the reflected wave to that of the incident wave is by definition reflection quotient. So this is actual definition, but negative of I reflected wave by I incident wave is equal to V reflected wave by E incident wave. Therefore, gamma can also be defined as I reflected by I incident with a negative sign. For any passive line, voltage amplitude in the reflected wave can never be more than that of incident wave. So reflected wave is part of incident wave. Reason is this. Accordingly, magnitude of RC can never be more than 1. It is always in between 0 and 1. Of course, this is the case as far as passive lines are concerned. In case of lossless lines, the magnitude of voltages V reflected and V incident, they remain constant. The magnitude of RC, which is the ratio, also remains the same at all points over the line. These are important points. Magnitude of reflection quotient is less than 1. In case of lossless lines, magnitude of reflection, in general, reflection quotient varies from point to point. In case of lossless lines, magnitude remains constant. In general, RC varies from point to point over the line, and its range is from -1 to 1 through 0. Another parameter related to reflection quotient and which is used frequently in the analysis of transmission line theory. Transmission lines is transmission quotient. When the line is terminated over a mismatched load, the power incident over the load goes into the load partly and the remaining gets reflected back. Transmission quotient denotes power flow into the load. By definition, it is voltage or current in the transmitted wave by voltage or current in the incident wave. What he says is, you consider a line terminated over a load. Let us suppose ZL, this is Z0. When wave falls, as ZL is different from Z0, partly it enters, remaining it gets reflected. So this is incident wave. This incident wave partly goes inside, remaining gets reflected. Now we have three waves: incident wave, transmitted wave, reflected wave. Voltage or current in the transmitted wave in this wave divided by voltage or current in the incident wave. That is transmission quotient, TC. Transmission quotient, it can be related to RC. The relation is transmission quotient is 1 plus gamma L. In terms of load impedance, it is 2 ZL by ZL plus Z0. This can be shown very easily. Once you know gamma L is ZL minus, actually gamma L is ZL minus Z0 by ZL plus Z0. Substitute this value, you will be getting 2Z. Similarly, T square can be found equal to ZL by Z0 into 1 minus gamma L whole square. What is this? This is actually normalized load impedance. ZL, small ZL, normalized. It is also possible to express reflection quotient at a point in terms of its value at the load. Note, it has been told to you in the beginning itself, reflection quotient varies from point to point over the line. Here one value, here another value, here another value. If the line is lossless, of course, magnitude remains constant at all points over the line, but angle changes. So in general, one can say reflection quotient varies from point to point over the line. Let us suppose reflection quotient over the load is known. Then what is the reflection quotient at a point P, which is at a distance of D from the load? That also can be found. It can be expressed in terms of reflection quotient over the load. That's what he's telling. Reflection quotient at a distance of D is reflection quotient over the load e power minus 2. Gamma is propagation constant, which is alpha plus j beta into distance. This is complex quantity. It can be expressed in terms of magnitude and angle. Then it becomes gamma L magnitude e power j theta L e power minus 2 in place of gamma alpha plus j beta into d. It is also possible to express RC at a point in terms of its value at the source. Let us suppose you know reflection quotient at the source point. At point P, reflection quotient can be determined. How? Let us suppose here reflection quotient is gamma s and the point P is at a distance of x from the source point. Then gamma x equal to gamma s. Gamma s means reflection quotient at the source e power to gamma x. See, notice the difference. Here it is negative, here it is positive. Here it is gamma L, here it is gamma S. Now SWR. SWR expansion is standing wave ratio. It has been told to you standing wave ratio is also a measure of reflected wave over the line. But notice, like reflection quotient. Notice reflection quotient is a complex quantity, difficult to measure. Certain difficult aspects are there. Whereas SWR is a scalar quantity. Scalars are considered to be easy to deal with when compared to vectors. Therefore, SWR is used widely wherever it is possible to use to analyze or to find out the amount of reflection over the line. But here is one aspect one has to consider. SWR is suitable. It is defined with respect to lossless lines. It is not relevant or it is not valid. It cannot be defined for lossy lines. So SWR is used only with respect to lossless lines. It is defined as a ratio of maximum to minimum voltage in the standing wave pattern over a lossless line. It can also be defined as a ratio of maximum to minimum current in the standing wave pattern. However, it can be found that both are equal. You consider a lossless line or the lossless line standing wave pattern will be like this. This is voltage standing wave pattern. Current standing wave pattern will be like this, something like this. Notice current minima falls exactly over voltage maxima. Current maxima falls exactly over voltage minima. Now, in the pattern, you can notice both in the voltage pattern as well as current pattern, there exists maximas, there also exists minimas. Maximum point, minimum point, maximum point, minimum point, maximum point, minimum point. If you consider the ratio of maximum to minimum voltage in the pattern, then that is by definition standing wave ratio. It is also said, we can also see that the ratio of current maxima by current minimum, it is equal to ratio of voltage maxima to voltage minimum. So SWR can also be defined as current maxima to current minimum. SWR is denoted by rho. It is a dimensionless pure real quantity. Its value ranges from 1 to infinity. Minimum value is 1 and maximum value is infinity. Mathematically, it can be defined as rho V max by V minimum or I max by I minimum. SWR can be considered as an indication or measure of amplitude ratio of reflected to incident waves. As already mentioned, both reflection quotient as well as standing wave ratio, they both are there for the same purpose, but in case of lossless lines, SWR is more relevant, more useful, more easy to use with. Thus, a value of unity for SWR denotes absence of reflected wave, while very high SWR indicates that reflected wave is large. The SWR can be shown as infinite when termination is open or short or non-dissipative pure reactance. SWR is related to reflection quotient. Let us suppose there is a line, let us say lossless line. For a lossless line, SWR can be defined. With the lossless line, RC also can be associated with. So SWR and reflection quotient. How these two are related? It can be, SWR can be considered as a means of expressing the magnitude of RC when the line is lossless. Magnitude of reflection quotient, it is related to SWR. What is the relation? The relation is this. Gamma is, this is rho, rho is, SWR is 1 plus gamma by 1 minus gamma. Here gamma is magnitude. From this relation, we can also derive gamma equal to rho minus 1 by rho plus 1. The exact analytical relation between the two can be specified by expressing SWR in terms of rho or by expressing rho in terms of SWR, which is shown here. Here is given a tabular form listing SWR values over the line for different terminations. When line is match terminated means here is a lossless line Z0. It is terminated over an impedance which is also equal to Z0. This is match termination. In such case, SWR is 1. In case of open circuit, short circuit or pure reactance. In such case, standing wave ratio is infinity. infinity. When termination is pure resistance, in such case, rho SWR is given by maximum of ZL Z0 by minimum of ZL Z0. Let us suppose characteristic impedance is 50 ohms. Terminating impedance is, let us say, 100 ohms. Then, so pure resistance. Now, what is standing wave ratio? Maximum of ZL Z0. It is 100. ZL Z0 out of these two, maximum is 100. Minimum of ZL Z2, that is 50. So 100 by 50 you have to consider. When the impedance is complex, termination is complex impedance, then what you have to do is, first you have to find out gamma. So first find out gamma from ZL minus Z0 by ZL plus Z0. This is complex. So you will be having magnitude as well as angle, phase angle. From the magnitude, using this relation, you can find out rho 1 plus gamma by 1 minus gamma. So here in this particular tabular form, you can find or methods by which you can find out reflection coefficient. Now, a little bit of explanation. Matched termination. Why SWR is 1? When termination is matched, if you sketch the wave, it is a uniform wave without any ups and downs. So V max is equal to V minimum. When V max equal to V minimum, naturally SWR is 1. Now, in case of open circuit, short circuit or pure reactance, what happens is the entire incident wave gets reflected. So the strength of reflected wave is as much as the strength of incident wave. Due to interference, what happens is perfect cancellation takes place at voltage minimum points. As a result of that, V minimum points, they stand over 0. So V max by V minimum 0 means it gives rise to infinity. Here a comparison between RC and SWR, reflection coefficient and SWR is given. Even though both are used to describe the mismatch or reflections over the line, there exist certain basic differences. What are they? RC is defined both for lossy as well as lossless lines, whereas standing wave ratio is meaningful only for lossless lines. It means in case of lossless lines, standing wave ratio is not relevant. We cannot talk about SWR over a lossy line. RC varies from -1 to +1 through 0 in general, a complex quantity. RC is a complex quantity, whereas standing wave ratio varies from 1 to infinity, always a real one. It is known by this time that complex quantities are complicated quantities, difficult to deal with. Real quantities, they are easy, we can easily get away with them. Therefore, SWR is somewhat preferred when compared to RC wherever choice is there. RC varies from point to point over the line, whereas standing wave ratio is specified for the entire length of the line. RC of voltages is negative of RC of currents, whereas standing wave ratio remains the same whether it is voltage ratio or current ratio. The chief advantage of SWR over RC is its measurability. RC is difficult to measure, whereas standing wave ratio is easily measurable quantity. So these are some of the points which are useful to understand the nature of parameters, reflection coefficient and standing wave ratio. Enough for now.